The Atlanta Hawks are on fire. With this 6-game win streak, the Atlanta Hawks looks virtually unstoppable. But in this video, I'm going to detail how the Atlanta Hawks got to this point, what they are doing now to capitalize on this 6-game win streak, and what this means going forward for the future, and maybe some playoff implications. I don't know if I want to say that too loud. But the Atlanta Hawks are on a 6-game win streak. They just defeated the Los Angeles Lakers, and this team looks really, really, really good. But at this point now, I first want to say we have to give some credit to Landry Fields, the GM for the Atlanta Hawks, because there was a point in time where the Atlanta Hawks made a trade for pivotal pieces of the current roster, and there was a lot of Atlanta Hawks fans who did not like the trade. I'm talking about the DeJounte Murray for Dyson Daniel, Larry Nance, and 2 first-rounders. People thought the Hawks did not win that trade, and it looks like the Hawks actually won it 2- and 3-fold because they got a similar player in Dyson Daniels, who people say if they would have just traded Dyson Daniels for DeJounte Murray, the Hawks would have won in that case anyway. But moving on, how did the Atlanta Hawks get to this point? It comes down to the fact that the Atlanta Hawks are playing better defense, and more importantly, they are scoring because they are sharing the ball more efficiently. As we know, Trae Young is on his Steve Nash era right now, where he is getting other players involved. I also want to kind of read this stat out. The Atlanta Hawks yesterday had 40 assists. Yes, 40 assists. That is insane. But more importantly, the Atlanta Hawks have 16 games where they've had 25 or more assists. This team is playing unselfish, and they're sharing the basketball. And we see that in the box score when 2, 3, 4, 5 guys are in double-digit point scoring, and you have 3 guys on any given night in that 20-point per game range. Now, what this means now, what are the Atlanta Hawks really doing and capitalizing on now? And what does this mean for them going on in the future? It goes back to the fact that the Atlanta Hawks have one of the deepest teams in the NBA. They're 1 through 9. If you really look at it, any one of those players could be starters on any other NBA roster. And you can look at me and say, yeah, you're tripping. But if you look at it, you got to think of the guys coming off the bench. You got DeAndre Hunter, you got Bogey Bogdanovic, and you got Onyeka Okongwu. Those 3 guys coming off the bench could start for any NBA team right now. And if you don't agree with me, then you're just clueless, because those are pivotal players that are a part of this deep team that the Atlanta Hawks have. And I think when it comes down to having DeAndre Hunter come off the bench, that allows the second unit to capitalize. And when we see ourselves leading going into the third quarter, it's because of that bench and what the bench has done to help this team as a whole. Now, going forward, looking at their schedule, do I think the Atlanta Hawks will keep this up? I think they have a strong chance. Now, I will say this, the Atlanta Hawks don't have a cakewalk the next 10 games. They play some actually pretty good opponents. But I will want to say these opponents aren't the top of the leagues. They're in that 5, 6, 7, 8 tier when it comes to playoffs. And these are some beatable teams. Some teams such as the Denver Nuggets, the Knicks. We talked about the Knicks, but the Atlanta Hawks find ways to beat the Knicks. They play the Spurs, so that's a very winnable game. They play the Grizzlies, very winnable game. They play the Timberwolves, the Bulls, the Heat, and then the Raptors. Of that, 10-game set, I can see the Atlanta Hawks losing maybe 2. But if the Atlanta Hawks go 8-2 over the next 10 games, I guarantee that this will put them in that 4 or 5 seed. Something that if the Atlanta Hawks are able to keep up will be a benefit for them in the future. Now going forward, playoff time. I know I'm going there already. Do I see the Atlanta Hawks making the playoffs? Of course. It's just a matter of how high do I think they'll go? How high do I think they'll soar? It has a lot to do with injuries, and can they keep this squad together and playing together and being efficient and really trusting in each other? That's one thing Quinn Snyder said in his press conference yesterday. This team trusts. And if this team continues to trust, share the ball, and really play at an efficient level, this team will do what I say the Indiana Pacers did, and that's make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and also have a chance to probably beat Boston, something that this team has done already. But if you agree or disagree with me, leave a comment down below. Let me know. I will say this as well. The Hawks are 6-0. First time they've done this. Not 6-0. They're on a 6-game win streak. First time they've done this since 2022, and this just shows how good this team is right now. I really do like this team, and if you like this team and you want to see more content like this, check this one out right here. And like always, peace.